Right now at 6, why the Joplin School Board opposes a state bill aimed at increasing teacher pay and changing school funding.
And we've got ourselves this green color because, well, rain on the radar. Scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through the area, and they'll stick with us through the day. We'll look at your forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
Foster Care Month, we'll hear how a Joplin organization is making the system easier on kids.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms already rolling across the area. We've got a storm just for you folks in Joplin, probably waking up to this. There's a lot of lightning with this little thunderstorm. It's not strong, nor is it severe, but it is producing a lot of lightning. We remind folks, lightning is very dangerous. Absolutely. It can be deadly. And I know a lot of kids, this is about the time you're getting ready for school. So if you can maybe drive the kids up to the bus, good idea to let them stay in your car. Certainly. If the bus stop is close enough to your house, maybe they can stay in until it's a little closer to time. Because like I said, a lot of lightning with this particular cell that's over the city right now. Let's take a quick look outside. Lightning is typically shy when it comes to television, but if we wait just a few seconds, because there's a bit of a delay between our camera at 7th and Rangeline and this one here on the Cornell complex, we just saw some lightning. And you'll get to see it here in just a moment. You can see the clouds. It's also breezy out there as well. There it is. So that's what we're talking about. There's quite a bit of lightning with this storm. MoDOT camera, 32nd in Rangeline. Looks like maybe there was a brief power hit because the street lights have gone out. Traffic lights are still running, which is good, but just a reminder, we've got quite a bit of lightning with this storm, even though it's not strong or severe. And here's a look at it on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, really blossoming over the city in the last few minutes. And as you can see there too, a lot of lightning associated with that storm as well this morning. So again, you got to play it safe, got to be smart, got to be careful out there as we get our day underway. 70 in Joplin right now, though, 70 in Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh is still dry because these storms are off to your south right now, but eventually all of us will be getting in on the scattered shower and thunderstorm activity across the area this morning. Quick look at temperatures. We're much warmer. We're low 70s, upper 60s out there, and we should be about that for our average highs. Low 70s are our average highs, and our temperatures aren't really going to move a lot today. So again, kids getting on the bus, got to do what you can to be safe. Drive them up to the bus stop if you can. I mean, when I was a kid, our bus stop was literally in front of our house. If that's the case for you, maybe keep them in the house until it's time. Just got to be safe out there. 66, and that south wind gusting to 25. Same this afternoon. If you are able to pick your kids up from the bus stop, that way they don't have to walk in these storms, a good idea. 72, scattered storms, south breeze gusting upwards of 30. Now, depending on the break you see in between thunderstorms, some of us might be a little warmer than this, but we're looking on average highs in the low to mid 70s, but some upper 70s will definitely be possible. And we do have that possibility of a strong storm, maybe a low-grade severe thunderstorm out there as well. It's a low risk, but it is there. So we'll keep an eye on these storms for you. We'll break down all the details on this in your full forecast here a little later. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Oklahoma jail inmates are sentenced for setting a fire inside the jail. Court documents say it happened on December 23rd. Authorities say 30-year-old Justin Gehring and 23-year-old Tyler Tavis set the fire inside the jail. Both pleaded guilty to damage by fire of property owned by an institution receiving federal funding. Both are sentenced to 5 years in prison and 1 year of supervised release. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation says it's monitoring a log jam on the Neosho River at Twin Bridges State Park, but isn't closing the bridge just yet. A news release from ODOT says the Highway 60 bridge can withstand a building of drift much longer than the current log jam and found it isn't structurally in danger. They say they are working with the GRDA and BNSF Railroad to come up with plans to remedy the jam, but must wait until water levels subside. Well, Joplin School Board members are urging Missouri Governor Mike Parson to veto a bill that would raise teacher salaries and change how state aid to schools is calculated. The Missouri House passed the vote with a vote of 82 to 69, the bare minimum needed for approval. Supporters of the bill saying it's good for schools and teachers. However, members of the Joplin School Board believe otherwise.
If you start whittling away at the foundation formula, if you start whittling away at transportation funding, that money has to come from somewhere because those services still have to continue. So as the state decreases their contribution to our district, as we will have to increase our local contribution.
The bill is heading to Governor Mike Parson for final say. May is a National Foster Care Month, and in Joplin, Foster Adopt Connect aims at keeping kids out of foster care and supporting foster families. Over the last 2 years, the nonprofit has assisted more than 700 families in 9 counties with clothing, food, and other programs.
My wife and I started fostering after our first daughter was born, and so really we had the conversation about how do we parent, how do we raise this child to be giving and loving and kind and generous and all of the things that you want your children to be. And we decided that we would open our home.
We come to work, but a lot of what we do doesn't really feel like work because we're coming in alongside families in challenging times, and we get to help them along the way and see them on the other side a lot of times, you know, in a whole different light. And it's a really
According to the organization, Jasper County has almost 400 kids in foster care. Foster Adopt Connect supports not only foster families, but also other members of the community. For more information on how you can help and their upcoming events, visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Yesterday, Roper Kia in Joplin presented a check to the Children's Center for $9,000. The event marks the end of Child Abuse Awareness Month, and every year the dealership partners with the Children's Center, who works directly with victims of abuse.
You know, we see kids who have been physically and sexually abused, and so many times this is a comfort item to help them process and get through their trauma. And so, you know, these toys, even though they may seem just like any other toy, they really mean something special to the kids that come through our center.
The event also featured a toy drive and a drawing to win a car service package. Roper Kia has hosted this event for 11 years. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Georgia governor signed a controversial immigration enforcement bill into law yesterday. Plus, police are on alert this morning after pro-Palestinian protesters at UCLA ignored warnings to disperse. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Job openings have fallen to the lowest level in 3 years. Data released Wednesday from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows U.S. employers had about 8.5 million available jobs in March. That's less than economists expected. Right now, there are 1.3 jobs for every job seeker. That compares to during the pandemic recovery when that ratio was around 2 to 1. Meanwhile, the percent of people quitting their jobs is at the lowest level since August 2020. Higher quit rates are usually a sign of worker confidence in the labor market and a potential source of inflation, since the job switching typically results in bigger pay bumps. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed a controversial immigration enforcement bill into law yesterday. The Georgia Criminal Alien Track and Report Act requires local and state law enforcement to verify the immigration status of those arrested in the state. The measure gained momentum following the February death of nursing student Laken Riley, who was found dead along a trail on the University of Georgia campus in Athens. An undocumented migrant from Venezuela had been charged with a 22-year-old's murder. Governor Kemp said the immigration bill was one of his top priorities following Riley's death. Police in Los Angeles are on tactical alert this morning after pro-Palestinian protesters at UCLA ignored warnings to disperse. Violent brawls broke out on the campus late Tuesday between the protesters and counter-protesters, with police now under investigation for their delayed response. Demonstrators have built encampments on dozens of college campuses nationwide over the past few weeks, while calling on universities to cut business ties with Israel over the war in Gaza. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
Heavy police presence overnight at the University of California, Los Angeles, after pro-Palestinian demonstrators were ordered to leave their encampments, now deemed illegal. It follows a night of sometimes brutal violence between the demonstrators and counter-protesters. Chemical spray, even fireworks thrown at the pro-Palestinian camp. The clashes left at least 15 people injured, at least one sent to the hospital.
What's your name?
UCLA senior Youssef said that he needed 14 staples in his head after he was hit with a traffic cone and beaten with a wooden stick.
I thought the police would be our saving rescue. Instead, what ended up happening was we saw the police forming in a large group outside, seemingly watching the events unfold.
Police at UCLA didn't step in to calm the unrest for nearly 2 hours. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the response delayed and unacceptable. The university's president has launched an investigation. Police in Hanover, New Hampshire say around 90 people were arrested as encampments were cleared out at Dartmouth College. Dozens were also arrested yesterday at Tulane University in New Orleans and the University of Wisconsin in Madison. At Columbia University, only imprints left of the encampment that once marked the epicenter of the student movement, urging universities to divest from Israel over the country's war against Hamas in Gaza. NYPD cleared out the camp and Hamilton Hall late Tuesday after protesters occupied the building. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
NYPD officers will remain on campus at Columbia University until after this month's graduation events. Meanwhile, UCLA says classes will be held remotely today and Friday, with employees also encouraged to work from home. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Now, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms already working into the area. We've had quite a bit of lightning with the cell that's directly over Joplin right now. So again, kids getting on the bus, you want to make sure you are taking precautions. This is just the first batch of scattered showers and thunderstorms out there, and we'll see more of them as we go through the day. And our camera 7th and Rangeline just moments ago caught a pretty impressive bolt of lightning, getting some heavy rain on it now, and still again, frequent lightning. Now, this storm is not strong or severe, but it is producing a lot of dangerous and potentially deadly lightning, so make sure you are careful out there. Scattered storms through the day, that'll keep highs on the average in the low to mid 70s. We'll have another full look at your forecast and how the weekend is shaping up here in just a few more minutes.
It's not a good day.
Well, just how many cheese balls do you think you could eat in a half hour? Chances are not as many as a man recently did in New York's Union Square Park. Fans wild over the cheese balls eating champ's impressive stunt. Jeannie Moose has more on the Cheesy Whiz Kid.
How does the crowd cheer on the Caped Crusader of cheese balls?
Cheese ball man! Cheese ball man! Balls! Balls! Balls!
Cheese Ball Man's goal: to eat 700 balls in just under 30 minutes, washing them down with water. In front of a crowd of hundreds of spectators in New York's Union Square Park.
Why cheese balls?
I had one and I was like, this food is quite fantastic.
But this was not so much a food-eating challenge as it was the creation of an absurd and anonymous superhero with cheesy hands.
This was your destiny!
I had to do it, you know, so many people were counting on me, so despite hurling up in my mouth a little bit, I kept it down and I made the people proud, I think, but if not, sorry.
He had a garbage bag handy in case his stomach rebelled, but he managed to down his 699th cheese ball, and then his 700th. Crowned with a hat like a traffic cone.
Can I shake your hand? Can I shake your cheese hat?
Are you sure?
Please.
Oh my God.
Will you run for president?
At 22, he's too young for a presidential run, but his campaign to whip up interest in Cheese Ball Man was impressive.
I went home a hero.
Showered with, what else? Cheese balls.
But are you going to stick with the cheese ball theme?
I mean, I have to. Like, what would I be, Pretzel Man? Would I be Asparagus Man? That's ridiculous.
Besieged by autograph seekers, a fan who came from Canada paid homage.
Thank you for being you.
I love you, Canada Man.
I love you, Cheese Ball Man.
Both corny and cheesy, sealed with a burp. Jeannie Mose, CNN.
Eat those balls! Eat those balls!
New York.
Certainly quite the spectacle over there. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms out there across the area. Just kind of taking a look around at things as we pan our downtown camera around on top of the Cornell complex out there. So we've got scattered showers, storms, lots of lightning with this particular storm. It's been over Joplin. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line offering another view of this thunderstorm out there. They will continue as we head into the afternoon and rest of the morning, really. We'll take another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 on this Thursday morning. Take a look. You just saw that lightning flash there. Still a lot of lightning, but look, there's the sun. This is one big thunderstorm that's stretching from Joplin down to Seneca into parts of northwestern McDonald County. It is not strong, nor is it severe, but it has been producing a lot of lightning out there. This is the MoDOT camera 32nd and range line. There's another lightning flash, and as we've mentioned, lightning's usually a little shy when we're on the air. It suddenly stops, but not the case this morning. With that said, it's time to be heading to school, heading to work. You've got to make sure you're safe and that the kids are safe, because lightning, whether the storm is severe or not, doesn't matter. Lightning is dangerous. It can be deadly. You've got to make sure you're safe out there. KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh still dry, because the storms are still off to your south and southeast for now. But we're going to have these scattered showers and storms continue to lift to the north. But take a look at all of that lightning with that storm just over the Joplin area, just to the west of Neosho out there. That is a lot of lightning. Did count on it earlier. 31 lightning strikes in this zone within just a few minutes out there. So that's a lot of activity. That showers and storms stretching back across northeastern Oklahoma. The storms that we were looking for yesterday ended up developing off to the north, where they were originally weren't anticipating much in the way of severe weather at all, but it stayed to the north and to the south because those storms yesterday afternoon just kind of worked over the atmosphere across southern Kansas. But that is not going to be the case today. We do have a low wind risk for some strong, potentially low-grade severe storms. That does come with a low tornado risk, primarily across southeastern Kansas, and a low hail and wind risk across the entire area. So the overall severe threat is relatively low, but a stronger or even low-grade severe thunderstorm will be possible with some of this activity. We go through the morning. We're going to continue with scattered showers and thunderstorms, and they will stick with us all day today. Now, as you see, though, some of us, they're scattered. We're going to get pauses in between thunderstorms out there. Doesn't mean necessarily the storm event is over. It's going to continue into the early evening hours, but there could be pauses. And see here on the future track, we're suggesting where maybe some clearing will take place. That's where some of you may be a little warmer than your neighbors. And depending on the clearing, if it's relatively narrow, this is an example, okay? You could reach a high of 78 in Columbus, and then down the way in Baxter Springs, only make a high of 73. It's all going to depend on just how much sunshine you manage to see between the storms. Now, they'll be gone by late evening across the area. It will be mostly cloudy overnight. We'll start to clear out for our Friday, partly to mostly cloudy by noon, and then by the evening hours, we clear out completely. But Saturday morning, about 4 or 5 a.m., here comes another round of showers and thunderstorms across the area, and those will persist with us through the morning hours and be gone by about 11 o'clock, and then we'll see additional thunderstorm chances beyond that. Quick look from our camera 7th and range line. It was looking really pretty a minute ago with some of those orange colors in there. 70 in Joplin. We got that thunderstorm. South breeze at 21, gusting to 32, and that's going to be the other side, is outside of thunderstorms, winds gusting out of the south upwards of about 30 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area this morning, upper 60s, lots of low 70s out there, and we won't really see a lot of movement on those temperatures. In fact, as we get the day started, you can see they're just kind of hovering upper 60s, low 70s with those thunderstorms and those gusty south winds. Highs today on the average, low to mid 70s out there. Not bad for our Friday, partly cloudy and upper 70s. Thunderstorms all the way through next Tuesday, and we are keeping our eye on the possibility of some additional strong to severe thunderstorms Monday into Tuesday. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Just keep that just as a reminder. We're watching those days. 80s, not bad on Wednesday. More showers next Thursday and Friday. Let's check your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. A report from the American Cancer Society shows mortality from some cancers is 2 to 3 times higher among Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders in the U.S. than it is for white Americans. Researchers say the cancers are largely preventable, like liver, stomach, and cervical cancers, and it underscores the need for better screenings and a greater awareness of early cancer symptoms. There's more evidence that a friend can give a boost to your health. New research published in Management Science found going to the gym with a friend increased visits by 35%, even with the added hassle of coordinating schedules. Researchers say a gym buddy helps create accountability and can make working out more social and enjoyable. And a tool to fight real-world stress for teenagers could be found in the virtual world. Scientists at the University of Washington created a virtual world where participants can paint or stack rocks, and found teens who used it over 3 weeks reported lower stress and improved mood. Scientists say the technology could help improve access to mental health treatments. Now to look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back.
In the heart of growth.
Right now at 6:30, we'll look at aging roads and bridges in our area and the efforts to maintain their safety.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling across the area this morning. More on the way as we go through our Thursday. We'll look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, hundreds of administrators, teachers, and school board members gather for the 25th annual celebration of schools.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's just coming up on 6:30. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms out there this morning.
Lots of lightning out there.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of lightning with this one storm that's kind of been just kind of sitting over Joplin. It stretches from Joplin down into northern McDonald County. And it's not strong, nor is it severe, but it is producing a lot of lightning.
Lots of activity.
So I know a lot of kids getting ready to get on the bus, and I've been mentioning it all morning, but you've got to take it. Lightning, whether the storm is severe or not, does not matter. Lightning is still dangerous. Lightning is still deadly. You've got to make sure you're staying safe out there. Keep the kids as safe as you can as well. Let's start by looking outside. And again, as we've mentioned too, you know, traditionally, lightning is relatively camera shy, but that has not been the case as we've been going through the morning with this particular storm. This is a live look from MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line out there. The winds have been picking up a bit as well. We've got the rain. It's been moderate at times with this thunderstorm, and we've had a lot of lightning with this particular storm as well. And here's a look at that storm from the Skywatch Storm Tracker, part of a little bit of scattered storm stretching all the way back into northeastern Oklahoma. And if you look back behind me, look at all the just scattered cells out there. This will continue to increase in coverage. So here's that Joplin storm. Look at all these lightning strikes. Upwards of 30 some odd lightning strikes with this storm just within the last few minutes out there. So again, you've got to play it safe. You've got to be careful. So it's just to the west of Neosho, just southeast of Carthage, right over Joplin, Carl Junction, Webb City, Oronogo, and down into Seneca as well. And we've got scattered showers and storms around the Miami area stretching back toward Veneta. The thunderstorms we were looking for yesterday, again, they kind of got killed off by that activity yesterday morning and into the early afternoon that just kept stalling out. It worked over the atmosphere. That's why there's this big gap between thunderstorm complexes across south central Kansas. However, we did have time for the atmosphere to recover, hence why we're starting to get storms this morning, and we'll have continued scattered storms as we go through the day. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line's been pointed slightly to the left. Interesting, they moved it. 70 in Joplin, 71 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the area all kind of hovering in the upper 60s and low 70s out there. We're not really going to see a lot of movement with these temperatures as we go through the day. So again, kids get on the bus. Thunderstorms for some of us, 66. South breeze gusting to 25. South winds picking up to 30 by this afternoon, about 72, and more scattered storms. In between the scattered storms, we're looking at highs on the average, low to mid 70s, but some of you may manage to make the upper 70s out there, depending on how big of a pause you see with these storms. Again, they're going to continue with us through at least the early evening hours, and we'll have a full look at your forecast and talk about some additional storm chances we're keeping an eye on here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. The Southeast Kansas County with the highest number of county-maintained roadway miles is also operating on one of the smallest budgets. Cherokee County's road and bridge budget for 2024 is $3.6 million. Those are funds set aside to maintain 1,300 miles of road and 234 bridges. Ever wonder why some roads are labeled as county roads and others as state highways? Well, it mostly has to do with who pays to maintain them. 301 of Cherokee County's 1,300 miles are currently paved. The busiest county road is Old 96. Recent bridge inspection reports show more than 2,500 vehicles traveled the Kansas portion every day. But you notice when you don't cross into Missouri, it's no longer a county road.
It was one given to us by KDOT, but before me, we're getting ready to get Old 166, where they're doing the new one east of Baxter. So the old part of that, I can't remember how many miles are in it, 4 or 5 miles, are going to be county maintained after they pull out of there.
According to the National Bridge Inventory, Kansas has more than 4,900 bridges in need of repair. Missouri has identified needed repairs on just over 4,500 bridges. High school students in Carthage got to show off their hard work yesterday at the Project Lead the Way Senior Showcase. The event is a celebration of the designs and innovations of engineering and biomedical students. One educator says it could also help give students valuable insight as they look ahead to their careers.
I think just the passion that they have, and hopefully they have either found that this is a field they want to go into, or maybe they have found that they don't want to. And that's okay, because they've saved some money by identifying that early on. But just the skills, like I said, and the ability to communicate and articulate those things is pretty awesome to see.
The students were able to showcase their designs with a model, prototype, or schematic and create a marketing plan to pitch their product to potential investors. More than 400 administrators, teachers, and board members from 41 area schools met up in Webb City for a celebration of schools. The Southwest Center hosted the celebration, which featured awards including the Southwest Center Trailblazer Award, Teachers of the Year, and Making Learning Come Alive awards.
Oh, tonight is a great night. It's a unique opportunity for this area. We have 23 schools coming together, and we're going to celebrate all the great going on in them.
It was 26 years in the making to win Teacher of the Year. It's a huge, prestigious award for our district, and I was very overwhelmed and very grateful and very humbled because I knew the people that I was in the running with.
This is the Southwest Center's 25th year of hosting this celebration. Now to look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Johnson & Johnson says it has offered to pay a settlement to legal claims that one of its products can cause cancer. And we're tracking thunderstorms. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. And Consumer Watch this morning. Stubborn inflation continues to be a top concern for the Federal Reserve. The central bank announced yesterday that it's keeping interest rates right where they are at their highest level in more than 2 decades, hoping to stabilize prices. Cargill Meat Solutions is recalling more than 16,000 pounds of raw ground beef products due to possible E. coli contamination. The affected products were produced on April 26th and 27th and shipped to Walmart locations nationwide. The Department of Agriculture says so far no one has had any adverse effects from the products. Anyone in possession of the recalled meat should not consume it. Instead, it should be thrown or returned to the place of purchase. And Johnson & Johnson says it has offered to pay $6.5 billion to settle legal claims that its talc products cause cancer. The proposal brings an end to over 99% of talc-related lawsuits against the company. Attorneys for the plaintiffs have dismissed the offer, saying it would cheat their clients. Johnson & Johnson still maintains that its talc products are safe, though they were pulled from store shelves as of 2020. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a thunderstorm over the city of Joplin right now. It's just been slowly drifting to the north. Our camera on the Cornell complex took a little bit of a power hit, caused it to reset earlier. And MoDOT camera 30-second range line. Also, there's a power hit earlier because these streetlights shut off and restarted. We've had a lot of lightning with this storm. Lightning is dangerous. It is deadly. And I know a lot of folks heading out for work, heading out to get on the bus this morning. You've got to make sure that you're taking precautions. If you can take the kids to the bus stop, anything to be safe out there, because look at all of these lightning strikes just over the city of Joplin here with this storm as it's continued to just slowly drift to the north. Now entering the west sides of Carthage, still just to the west of Neosho and stretching down into Seneca. We've had 30 some odd lightning strikes within a few minutes time with this particular storm. More showers across northeastern Oklahoma, and we'll continue to see these scattered storms roll through the area and continue to develop as we go through the day as well. We're at 70 in Joplin right now, 71 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures are really just going to kind of hover into the upper 60s and low 70s out there. And we're having that gusty south wind pushing around 30 miles an hour today. We'll have another full look at your forecast here in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries coming up after this break, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Jerika Duncan. Coming up on CBS Mornings, Emmy Award-winning actor Jeff Daniels joins us in studio to talk about his latest role, which he says is one of his most challenging yet. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Thursday birthdays in the 4 states, starting in Pittsburgh with Ari Jackson celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday.
And over in Arma, Chloe Starsik is celebrating birthday number 13. Happy birthday, Chloe.
And in Neosho, Michael Bullard celebrating birthday number 32. Happy birthday, Michael.
And over in Cherokee, Kansas, Patricia Snow celebrating birthday number 70. Happy birthday, Patricia.
And in Pittsburgh, Ron Marone celebrating birthday number 73. Says to the best dad and grandpa, love all your kids and grandkids.
And happy birthday to Mike Trop from Pittsburgh.
And our neighbor in Crestline, Roger Swaney, celebrating birthday number 72. Happy birthday, Roger. All right, that list, again, a relatively short one.
Yes.
We really want to be able to spend like half the show doing birthdays
yes,
and anniversaries.
That would be wonderful.
So Elise, if you want to celebrate with us, or if the folks at home would
yes.
like to celebrate with us, what do they need to do?
Go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those birthday messages and photos if you so desire, and to, of course, meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
That's just to make sure that your birthday or anniversary airs at the right time. Well, we've got scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. We've got one thunderstorm that's really increasing in size. There's some of that lightning. We've had a lot of lightning with this storm. It is not strong, nor is it severe, but it has been producing a lot of dangerous lightning out there. So as you're getting out the door, kids getting ready to get on the bus, just make sure you're taking precautions. You do not want to be out open and exposed, especially with the volume of lightning that we've seen from this particular storm. A lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes out there. We've seen quite a few of those on the different cameras around the area as well. Of course, that's our camera on the Cornell complex in downtown Joplin. This is the MoDOT camera 30-second and range line as well. We've got the wet roadways. This storm has just kind of parked itself over Joplin. It is very slowly lifting off to the north, but again, it is doing so very slowly. And then the KDOT camera south of Pittsburgh, still dry. Storms still for now off to your east and southeast at this point, but eventually all of us will be getting in on shower and thunderstorm activity. Here's a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. There's that thunderstorm. Take a look at this guy. Really just flared up. It's moving very slowly. In fact, it's starting to do a little redeveloping here, and look at all of the lightning with that. So now getting into Carthage, Asbury, just to the southeast of Pittsburgh. We've had some lightning strikes. Remember, lightning can strike up to 10 to 15 miles from the parent thunderstorm. We're starting to see some away from the main complex here, and it stretches all the way down to Seneca. But look at the redevelopment that takes place on this thing, stretching down into parts of northern McDonald County. We've had a few isolated showers in northeastern Oklahoma this morning as well, and we will see more showers and thunderstorms as we go through the day. These will be scattered in nature, but as you can see, all of this activity starting to fill in across the area, and that's what's going to bring us our thunderstorm chances. Now, we do have a low-end risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. Some of these do have the possibility of producing all hazards. We have a low tornado risk, primarily in the southeastern Kansas out there. And then we've got a low wind risk for some hail and damaging wind gusts as well across the area that we're going to keep an eye on as well. So actually just looking at some information, so that thunderstorm is reported as producing some pretty heavy downpours. They're picking up 1 to 1.5 inches in the last hour. So they are watching for possible flooding because this storm is continuing to train across the area. But they do say that the storm is slowly starting to lose some of its intensity. But do watch out for the possibility of maybe some flash flooding where this thunderstorm is across Jasper, Newton counties over there. We've got thunderstorms again scattered throughout the day. They will continue. Now, because they're scattered, there will be pauses, and there may even be points where there might be some breaks in the clouds or at least some cloud thinning. So some of you may be warmer than others, but we're looking on average at highs in the low to mid 70s out there. Again, scattered thunderstorms through the day. They'll continue into the evening, and they'll begin to die out. Will be mostly cloudy overnight and into the upper 50s and low 60s across the area. For our Friday, we start the day cloudy and we'll start to clear out. In fact, we'll go mostly clear once we head into the evening hours, and that is ahead of additional thunderstorms. They're going to start to work their way in after midnight. So here we are at 5 a.m. Saturday morning, and these will go through in the morning hours and before noon, before lunchtime on Saturday. These storms will be on their way out of here, and we've got additional thunderstorm chances beyond that as well. Quick look from our camera, 7th and range line in Joplin. We've got that thunderstorm, 70, south breeze at 21, gusting to 32. There's another little flash of lightning out there. So again, a very electrical storm right there in the Joplin area right now. Temperatures around the area, most of us in the low 70s, but we do have some upper 60s out there. And these temperatures really not going to move through it much as we go through the morning. We'll have gusty south winds outside of any thunderstorm activity, pushing 20, 30 miles an hour out there. And as you can see, temperatures again just kind of hovering in the upper 60s and low 70s. We're having another look at your forecast, including that extended forecast here in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And when we make the switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to learn how social media can have a damaging effect on your mental health.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Ottawa County, Oklahoma jail inmates are sentenced for setting a fire inside the jail. Authorities say 30-year-old Justin Gehring and 23-year-old Tyler Tavis set the fire inside the jail on December 23rd. Both pleaded guilty to damage by fire of property owned by an institution receiving federal funding. Both men are sentenced to 5 years in prison and 1 year of supervised release. Joplin school board members are urging Missouri Governor Mike Parson to veto a bill that would raise teacher salaries and change how state aid to schools is calculated. The Missouri House passed the bill with a vote of 82 to 69. The Missouri National Education Association also opposes the bill, arguing it would funnel resources from public schools to private schools. And the Oklahoma Department of Transportation says it's monitoring a logjam on the Neosho River at Twin Bridges State Park. A new release from ODOT says the Highway 60 bridge can withstand a building of drift much larger than the current logjam. They say they are working with the GRDA and the BNSF Railroad to come up with a plan to remedy the jam, but must wait until water levels subside. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
We've got that thunderstorm over Joplin right now. Again, for you folks getting your day underway, it's not strong or severe, but it is producing a lot of dangerous lightning, so be aware of that. We'll have scattered thunderstorms throughout the day today. Gusty south winds pushing 30 miles an hour. Highs on the average about low to mid 70s out there, though some of you could be a couple of degrees warmer than that. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will close out as we head through the evening. Will be mostly cloudy overnight, falling back into the upper 50s and low 60s. Got a pretty decent Friday out there. Clearing skies, upper 70s. 70s. We'll have morning thunderstorms on Saturday out there, and then more thunderstorm chances heading into next week. We are watching that potential for strong, possibly severe thunderstorms as we head into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So just keep that in mind as we go through the weekend. Otherwise, 80 degrees, a little break from the rain on Wednesday, more showers and storms next Thursday and Friday.
Lots of storms and a lot of rain.
Certainly so.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making quinoa veggie salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see why some members of Congress are calling for an end to the federal ban on cannabis.
Plus, Greg Morse from Stronghold Data joins us in the studio. However, that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We had so much fun doing this. I tell you what, we'll come back tomorrow morning and do it all again at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.